Administrative Officer for the City of Fredericton. Joined by Wayne Allen, who's Director of Public Safety. Wayne is gentleman in charge of police and fire departments, and also take questions in French. We have as Wayne mentioned, what I plan to do today, I'm going to read the statement that I distributed yesterday. I'm going to read the copy of the letter I sent to Google, which I'm going to give you a copy of. And I was going to give you copies of examples of some of the comments on the law's blog, but I've chosen not to do that. They've been there for some time, and quite frankly, I don't want to continue on with those comments for the sake of our police officers. So, as the CAO of the City of Fredericton, I'm writing to confirm that the letter that was sent to Google under my signature pertaining to employees of the City of Fredericton, in this case, members of the Fredericton Police Force, and the ongoing challenges related to a blog that is hosted by blogger Mr. Charles LeBlanc. The letter specifically requested that Google Inc. review its blogger content policy as it relates to Mr. LeBlanc's blog and move to terminate the inaccurate, hurtful, and inappropriate content as it stands. As background, following the Bernard Bouchard report, which you may recall was initiated years ago, the Fredericton Police Force implemented 5 of the 7 recommendations over those 19 months. 2 of those recommendations remain outstanding. One requires legislative reform with respect to cyberbullying and not yet passed in the province of New Brunswick. The second specifically related to comments that appear on Mr. LeBlanc's blog directed at our employees in the City of Fredericton who are members of the Fredericton Police Force. Efforts to work with Mr. LeBlanc over the past 19 months to address these concerns have not been successful due to his unwillingness to cooperate. These comments impact our individual employees, their professional and personal reputations, and grow the reputation and public confidence in the Fredericton Police Force in general. And as the employer, the City of Fredericton, and in my role as a CAO, I feel a responsibility to seek remedy to protect our employees as they try to carry out their duties. So now I'll read the letter that I sent to Google. And as I mentioned, you will receive a copy of this. There's parts of this letter I'm not going to read, and it relates to the content that was on Mr. LeBlanc's blog, so I'm not comfortable saying it aloud, but you will have access to it. So to whom it may concern, and this is addressed to Google. In consultation with the Chief of Police, this letter is being sent pertaining to the Fredericton Police Force and the ongoing challenges related to a blog that is hosted by a blogger. There was a public inquiry initiated in 2013, and the Fredericton Police Force has since worked to implement recommendations within its control. The independent review produced 7 recommendations for change directed at the Fredericton Police Force over the past 19 months. That our force has worked diligently to address all areas identified for improvement and or correction. They have been successful in complying with all recommendations, with the exception of 2. One specifically relates to comments that appear on the blogger blog. These comments bring the Fredericton Police Force into disrepute and an ongoing threat to public safety. With that in mind, I would like to bring to your attention some content that exists on the blogger domain, which is not in adherence to your blogger content policy. On several occasions, the author of Mr. LeBlanc's blog, found at the website will be noted there, has posted hurtful, inaccurate, inappropriate, and harassing content on the blog. It is our opinion, my opinion, that the content in several of the author's blog posts explicitly disregard the blogger content policy, specifically the boundaries around hate speech and harassment. And now there's 2 paragraphs in that letter that you'll get that have some of the quotes from his site. And as I say, I'm not comfortable saying those things out loud. And I think I want to pinpoint one issue I have with these people that are being pinpointed as our individual employees. They have families, they have children, spouses, family, friends, colleagues who have to see this day in, day out on this blog. And again, I felt compelled that as the CAO that I had to act. So the above noted content, again, that's posted in the letter, is not only inaccurate, but works to demean, harass, and damage the reputation of the individuals mentioned. In the cases where one of the members of the force is degraded due to their race, is most certainly hateful and inappropriate. Continued comments made about officers about being pedophiles not only impacts the individual's officer's personal reputation, but also has an effect on the reputation and public confidence of the Fredericton Police Force in general. So you will have that copy of that letter, and again, you'll see some of the stuff in there that we talked about. So what I plan to do now is, as I mentioned, I had originally brought copies of some of the content, but again, I prefer not to distribute it. It was available for a number of years, and again, out of respect for individual employees, I don't want to continue what they've had to put up with, basically, over the last couple of years. So I'm going to open it up for questions now, things related to my statement. For questions in French, I think Mr. Town is quite prepared to help out. And I must say, I don't plan to answer too many more questions after today about this particular story. Again, I don't want to keep the story long. Yes, sir.
Why did you issue the statement yesterday and come forward that you were the source of the complaint when really there was probably some highly unlikely that would have ever been revealed? Why was that decision made?
I made that decision. There seemed to be uncertainty about where the complaint came from. I know there was accusations it was the provincial government, it was the Fredericton Police Force. I felt I needed to clarify it. I have no issue with saying that I was the one that filed the complaint in trying to protect our employees.
The tone of the letter to Google suggests that you consulted with Chief Fitch on this decision, and this letter was sent with her knowledge and, I'm assuming, blessing?
I did talk to Chief Fitch amongst many other folks here at the City of Fredericton. Obviously, the police have been the ones that have been the brunt of Mr. LeBlanc's comments. So I felt I needed to talk with the chief, so I understood fully the issue. It was my decision, and my decision alone, to send the complaint. I had a few other avenues I felt I could go right now, except to appeal to the provider of the blog based on their content policy, and appeal to what I presented in terms of the comments that were on there would be a violation of their policy. So I asked Google to consider it. They did, obviously, and they decided to shut the blog down. And I'm obviously pleased they did.
Did you attempt to contact Mr. LeBlanc at any time about removing the posts?
I did not. There's been, we have documented evidence of the attempts to have him discontinue these comments on the blog. He has refused to do that, and I felt that, one, I was in no obligation to inform anyone. I didn't know what Google would do, but obviously they agreed with us that this was, we were correct in what we assumed was inappropriate comments. But to answer your question, no, I did not know.
And before that, did the city the police force contact Mr. LeBlanc about the Sharp report? Her had mentioned the misuse of the document used to search his premises.
I have to defer that to the chief of police, so I'm not aware of the details of that particular question.
There's been some criticism that this is an example of government cracking down on freedom of speech. How do you feel about that?
We have no issue with people making comments about the City of Fredericton as an organization. People are free to express their opinions on that. I guess when it becomes personal and attacking individual employees, then we as an employer and myself as the CEO are going to have an issue with that, especially with the comments that we've seen based on race, sexual orientation, and unsubstantiated criminal activity. I guess as an employer, we have to take exception to that. But certainly, folks that want to make comments on our organization as a whole, no issue with it all.
Could you say which one, when you say about race, which blog would that be?
What I have, I'm not circulating any of the material. I have it here, and what I'll do at the end of the question period, I will have it here. I will not provide a copy, but if you want to look at it, you certainly can look at it.
Just one more thing, what would you say that what Mr. LeBlanc is saying, that the Fredericton police force went to his internet provider and told him that he was into child porn. And wouldn't you understand Mr. LeBlanc's point of view, that they label him as a pedophile?
I'm sorry, Mr. Mott, I'm not sure what you're asking.
What I'm saying is, they went to the internet provider, I got the papers right here, and they said that I was into child porn.
I'm not aware of that.
You're not aware that we only received these papers about 5 months ago. Wouldn't you understand Mr. LeBlanc's point of view, fighting
I
back?
don't have access to that, I didn't have.
I'll give you the copy. You can read it.
Did you consider going to mayor and council with this, and why, if you did, why didn't you?
I did not inform council. My role is to oversee administration. I thought this was an issue about our employees, and that is my responsibility. So I didn't think upon myself to try to address a problem that our employees were having with this particular issue.
And you say this has caused stress for employees. I wonder if you talk about it. What have they gone through? What have they come to you to tell?
Some of our employees the last couple of years have been receiving pedophiles. There's been comments about their race, about their sexual orientation, totally unsubstantiated. And so their families, friends, colleagues have to put up with this, I guess. And it's very hard on them. They're trying to do their jobs each day. And there's very little I can do as individuals. And I guess I felt as our organization, we care about our employees. And, if that's you being accused of these types of things, you're going to look for help. Someone's going to help you. And I thought that was our role.
We asked you 2 years ago when you made the report, like Bernard Richard made the inquiry, and we asked you for the city to pay for Mr. LeBlanc's lawyer because he's on social assistant, he can't afford a lawyer, and you said no. You will not fund Mr. LeBlanc with a lawyer. And then I never talked to Bernard Richard. Shouldn't we really go over this one more time and get the details of what happened?
I'm not going to relive Mr. Richard's report. We hired him to do a job. I thought he did a great job. We've done very well implementing the recommendations. As I mentioned, we continue to fully implement those recommendations. The decision not to hire lawyers or outside parties, I don't think is relevant. In this particular case, we're talking about asking Google to review the content of their blog for the comments that we felt were inappropriate. They agreed it was, violated the policy, and decided to shut the blog down.
Just one more thing. Nobody has contacted me that there was a problem. When you say that I was contacted, and could you say by who or?
The last question I answered for you. We have documented emails over the years about our concern about the content of your blog. Asked you to discontinue. That did not happen.
Email from who?
I think I'll leave it at that.
Are you aware that Mr. LeBlanc has launched a new blog with a very similar title? Is there a plan to contact Google over that, or is no content of the nature you're describing has appeared there? You're just going to leave, right?
Yeah, we're aware of the blog, and again, I have no issue with Mr. LeBlanc making comments of the organization. It's when it becomes individual and personalized, and the comments become inappropriate in our view, hateful, and violate the policy of the provider. I can't say for sure that we would take some action. I guess it just time will tell.
Is somebody in the city tasked with monitoring the blog?
Well, I
Or the old
certainly
blog, I'm sorry, as well as with somebody tasked with monitoring?
no, but I guess if you're being attacked individually, you're quite aware of it, whether you look at it yourself or someone tells you. So I don't think we have to sign anyone to monitor. I guess if you're under attack, you'll soon let someone know. Yes, sir.
Was legal course of action ever considered by the city instead of removing the law?
No, we decided to go this route because again, we thought it was a viable route. I think enough taxpayers' money has been spent. Maybe probably hired a sheriff for it, cost $40,000. All right, so, like I mentioned, I do have some other videos here, but if you want to see them, I do appreciate you coming on very short notice. I don't plan to prolong the story, at least I don't. So this will be all comments on it. But thank you for your time, and have a good day. Oh, wait, there's that